Hey guys, today I'm about to blow your mind because ChatGPT just changed the real estate game forever, as it continues to do all the time, right? It just doesn't disappoint. So imagine uploading an HOA document and finding rental restriction in seconds, or taking a market graph and instantly turning it into content for your social media, or sending it to your clients so they can actually understand. And oh yes, you can even upload an entire PDF book and get personalized advice like the author is actually talking directly to you. Sounds interesting, right? So stay tuned because I'll show you what I do step by step and how you can use it to level up your business right now. Okay, so we just logged into ChatGPT, and what we're going to cover today is how ChatGPT can analyze a document, different ways that you can analyze documents. So the three documents that we're going to go through is how you can upload an HOA document, how you can upload a graph document, and then how you can upload actually a book PDF, and analyze the book, which is really, really cool as well. So, like I said, we just logged into ChatGPT during at this time, because of course these LLMs are always updating and upgrading. We are on ChatGPT 5, which ChatGPT 5, it's a it's a thinking model where it takes a little bit more time to generate the answer to the question or the prompt that you have. So we're not going to use that model. We're going to come down to use GPT-4 because the response is a little bit quicker to show you this example. So here, of course, is where you put your question, your answer, your question or your prompt. So we're going to start right here. And so the first thing that you're going to do is we're going to work on the HOA document. So with the HOA document, sometimes you will, the document is very long, and, sometimes you may have an investor or who wants to know if there are any rental restrictions, or, you just may need to know detailed information in the document for your client. And this is an easy way for you to find it. So the first thing that you do is, of course, obtain the document and save it somewhere on your computer. And then you're going to go here to this plus sign. You're going to click on add photo or files, and then you're going to find your document. So my document is right here, copy of HOA. We're going to open it up. And so it's, downloading or whatever. So while it's downloading, you're going to put in here, you're going to say review and do not respond. So we're going to say that because we really want to make sure that ChatGPT or whatever LLM analyze the document, because a lot of times it will hallucinate if you give it too many tasks in one umbrella, right? So we want to make sure that we just give it small tasks so we can make sure that we give it enough time to analyze whatever data we wanted to analyze. So I always put review, do not respond. And sometimes it'll respond anyway, but you have to stop it and say, no, I said review and do not respond. So if you do get that, just make sure you stop it because you're training it, right? So mine should know better, but sometimes it still acts up. So you see, it says reading document, understood. Okay, cool. So it got me covered. It read it and all the things, which is wonderful. That's exactly what we wanted it to do. So the next thing that we're going to ask, like say if I have an investor, like I was mentioning earlier, who wants to know if there are any rental restrictions. So I'm going to ask, are there any rental restrictions? And then it's going to let me know if there are any rental restrictions. Yes, there are rental restrictions. And it's telling me all about it. It also tells me the section. If it doesn't tell you the section, then ask, what's the section? What page number is it on? And so it's explaining to me what's the maximum here, the lease cap, which is really good information. So any question that you may have about this particular document, you can always just go here and ask it the questions. And then that makes you look like a really great savvy agent that you can find the answers quickly. So what I would do here, so this chat right here is this chat that we've just created. So I would click on these red dots and then I would rename it. I would rename it to 123 Main Street, right? So anytime that I want to come back and ask another question, it's right here, HOA. And you do not need to have the paid version in order to do this, right? You just keep it here. Now, if you do have the paid version, you can click on these three dots and you can create a new project, which is pretty much a folder. And so you see all of these under here, social media, content, calendar. These are all of my folders. So you can always just put it under the folder, and then you can locate your folders right here under projects. So it's a little bit easier to find. But if you have the free version, it's no problem. You just come up to search, just in case these chats get lost, right? If these get lost, you can always just come up to new chat, not new chat, sorry, the search chat, and you can just find the 123 Main Street, which is, of course, it's going to be in the front right here, or in the front because we just created it. But if it gets lost with some of your chats, you can always just find it here. See, 123 Main Street. Let's see, HOA. Uh-oh. Well, that didn't work. Let's do HOA first. HOA. And then you should be able to find it. Where is it? Search. It's going to find some HOAs. So okay, there you go, HOA. And then you'll find your chat. But anyway, so that is the first part, uploading a document, allowing ChatGPT to analyze the document, right? And then you start asking the questions that you need. And then you can share it with your clients, okay? So let's go to a new chat. Now we're going to go ahead and start with the graph. So, there are so many graphs in FMLS, Georgia MLS, or whatever MLS system that you're using, and you're trying to explain to your client what's going on in the market or in your specific area, not necessarily the state, but maybe a county or a city or whatever. And you can pull graphs, but an easy way to analyze the graph and explain it to your client, or this can also be content for your social media pages, you can create it here. So we're going to do that one next. Let's start from scratch and get in a graph. So we're going to go to Google, all right? And we're going to do Georgia MLS market report, okay? So let's go there. Georgia MLS market report, Georgia MLS. Okay, cool. So we're going to click on that. So I'll show you how I got the graph, right? My area of focus, and this is me not even logging in. I just Googled, right? So what we're going to do here, these are the stats, these are the reports. So we're going to go by county. My county that I focus on is in Gwinnett County. So I'm going to click here, Gwinnett County, view, right? And so here is the snapshot for Gwinnett. So it's like, okay, I can look at all of this in detail. I can look at the sales volume, the units sold, blah, 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 right? And go through that whole thing. But I can also just do a snapshot of this, or I can copy and paste it. But let's just go ahead and do a snapshot. So I'm going to, because I have a Mac, I'm going to Command Shift 3. That's how I do a snapshot. And so now I have this, right? And so I'm just going to hit done. So I got this information, right? So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to go back to ChatGPT. Then I'm going to go to my plus, add file. And so my snapshot is going to be on my desktop because that's my screenshot, right? We're going to open that up, and then we're going to do the same thing that we did before. We're going to tell it to review, do not respond, right? So we're going to hope that it listens, which it should. I did my best to train my model not to go against me, even though sometimes it still does, but it's okay. Okay, so we were on that part, so it understands. So now you can create an email with this, an email blast with this. You can do a script with this information. So what we're going to do today, we'll do a script, and pretty much what we're going to tell it is you are a content, um, we're going to say they're a content specialist, right? Specialist and expert. Okay. I need to create a script for my YouTube channel or Instagram or Facebook, whatever, right? Script for my YouTube channel based on the information above. Um, okay. Make it 1 minute long. And let's see, how do we want it to sound? We want it to be fun and conversational and engaging, okay? Um, and funny. So, and it could be however you want, right? You can add jokes. You could tell it you wanted to add jokes or you want it to sound like Kevin Hart or whatever, right? So now it has this short script based on that data. Hey y'all, it's Tish the agent, and today we're spilling the tea on the September 2025 housing market. And let me tell you, the numbers are talking. So now you have a script, right? So this is a great way to create content. I think this is really cool. There's no reason for you not to utilize social media about, with this because it's already doing the work for you. Of course, I always recommend for you to review, read, make sure that the information and what it's saying is true because we all know, if you haven't already experienced it, ChatGPT and all the large language models, it does hallucinate. It hallucinates, and we can't do anything about that. So sometimes it'll give you data that's not correct. And we just have to make sure just because it sounds good does not mean that it's necessarily correct. That's the reason why you always want to validate the information that it spits out for you, right? So once you validate it, look at the graph, compare the information, then you are good as gold. So you're done with that, right? Okay, so now we're going to move on to a book, right? So, say you have a PDF book and you really like the book, but maybe there's a part in the book that you can't remember what it said, but you want to go back to that part, and instead of reading all through the book, you can just literally upload the PDF here and you can find whatever you're looking for. And you can use this for a book that you just like to read, or you can use this for maybe a study. Like if you're studying something and you have the PDF, it can quickly find the answer for you. So there's just different ways that you can use this. But anyway, so we're gonna go with a book. I already downloaded a book that I like. And so we'll do a sample here with that. So of course, we're going to go back to the plus sign and then we're going to go to add file. And when you go to add file, my book is right here, Seven Strategies of Wealth, which is a really good book. And if you don't have it, you should probably get it. Very, very good book. Anyway, so you can upload it here. And of course, you know what you say anytime that you want the LLM to really analyze the information first. We're always going to say, hey, review, do not respond. So we want it to go ahead and do its thing with analyzing the information, right? Up, and you see it's not listening. It's giving me all the stuff. So I just stopped it and I click there and I'm going to say, I said, do not respond. Okay, so because again, sometimes now that's the type of answer I wanted. Understood. I won't respond. Thank you. Okay, so um,
Let's see, what question do I ask? I'm going to say, well, of course, you can always use this to find different pages in the book, but I'm going to go a little bit deeper and I'm going to say, I'm going to tell it to act as if you are the author of the book. Okay. Um, I am, let's see, I am struggling with my business. What would you advise? So the great thing about this, make it a short response. The great thing about this is you can upload a book, and so once you tell it to act as a person, it will respond to you as if it's that person based off of this book, right? The 7 strategies of wealth. And I can go into more detail and tell it what I'm struggling with. I just said I'm struggling with my business. What would you advise? Make it a short response. But I can go into detail and say, hey, I'm struggling with building relationships. Based on your strategies, what's the best way to overcome these obstacles? And it will respond to you as if the author of the book is talking to you. So therefore, you're not getting such a general response. You're getting a response from the person that you would actually want to get a response from based on their principles. So I think this is a really good one too, a good way for you to kind of work your business, especially if there is someone that you look up to, someone that you have a lot of respect for when it comes to business or any aspect of your life, really. You can tell ChatGPT or any large language model to act as that author of the book or act as that person, but give it some data, some context as to how the person thinks, and you'll get a great response. This is what the author would say to me. This is what Jim would say to me. So, and I can make it more detailed for it to go and dive deeper into what I'm struggling with. But of course, I've said make the response short. So anyway, that's it. I hope that gets your mind going to see what you can do better. So I hope you guys enjoy this.
Okay. And now that's how you turn ChatGPT into your secret real estate assistant. Whether you're analyzing HOA documents, breaking down market data, or just pulling insights from books, it's all about working smarter and standing out. So if you found this helpful, of course, I want you to hit that like, subscribe, and share it with another agent who you think may need to see this. Till next time.